Welcome to Watercolor Lessons with Kathy. I'm Kathy Nichols, and I'm a lifelong artist, painter, and teacher. I help students of all ages tap into their creativity with watercolor. Watercolor is a great way to express yourself, and it's easy to get started and fun to do. I hope you join me to learn how to paint with watercolor. I can't wait to see your paintings. To send me photos of your creations, email them to the address in the description. Welcome to the next lesson in our bird series. Today we'll paint a goldfinch. Their yellow color is like bright sunshine. We'll use 3 brushes, 6 paints, and 4 techniques. Be sure to check below for useful information and links. Let's paint. Today we will be painting a goldfinch. So first we will paint the sunflower that the bird will be sitting on. Take your round with pointed tip brush, wet it and load it with ochre. And make a circle about in the middle of the paper. Okay. Then clean your brush and load it with sap green. So this plant is a sunflower, and there's a big sunflower that the bird's going to sit on, and it's leaning off to the side. And there's another stem going off here, and another one going up to there. And they are just going to have buds. They're not going to be opening. So make another circle on each one, and then clean your brush and take some of the green out. We will add some yellow, lemon yellow, to it in a minute. But we don't want so much of the green in the middle of the circle. On both sides there. Now let's add a few leaves on this wonderful plant. Their leaves on a sunflower plant are fairly large. Okay. Now switch to your liner brush. But before that, we want to give it a good dry. Take your liner brush, but before you do that, you'll need to have your template. And here is my template for my bird. Load your liner brush with the lemon yellow. And outline your template. And then lift it up. Now, I noticed the green there. I don't really want it. It might show through. So I'm wetting that leaf. And that's the nice thing with watercolor is you can fade the colors if you make a mistake. I don't know if that's necessarily a mistake with watercolor. It's just something that happened, but you can fix it or adjust it. And that's the nice thing about watercolor. Now I might not be able to get it out completely, but enough that the green it won't show through. And you have to wet it pretty good to lift the color out. Like so. That's good enough for now. Now take your liner and load it with more lemon yellow. And now the beak is more of a orange color, but I'm applying a yellow, and that's going to be a layer. And I'm going to change the color a little bit later. Now the eye is about right here. You want to leave a white spot. And there's black on the crest, which we'll deal with later. So bring some of the yellow down here. And a little past the neck, the wings start to show up. So there's a little definition of the wing. Then come down and paint the breast. And on the wing, there's some black. And we'll fill that in a little bit later. Right now we're just putting some of the yellow on. Okay. Now take some cadmium red and mix with a little bit of the lemon yellow you have there. And that will create a lighter orange. And we're going to put it on the beak. Like so. Now we'll create some of that dark black. And to do that, take your liner brush and mix burnt umber with the ultramarine blue. And let's start with the wing. There's some white areas. Now if your yellow is wet, it will run. So I think before you go on, you will want to go for another dry with your hair dryer. Okay. Now there's a little white showing on that wing. And then it's almost like a band between the dark color and the white. And then it staggers down the wing. And then the tail feathers have some of that dark black color. So you'll want to take some more of the mixture of burnt umber and intense blue. And carry it down to the tail here. So to make that dark mixture, you'll want to mix the burnt umber and the ultramarine blue. Okay, now there's some of that dark color on the head, on the crest. Now, where the eye is, there's a white spot, and you want to leave some of the white and circle around it to make the definition of the eye there. You might have to dry it to make it darker. Let's see. Now the beak needs to come closer to that dark area. So you can make that light orange mixture by mixing cadmium yellow and cadmium red. Like so. Now, you will want to add a little texture where that yellow is. And you can take load your liner brush with lemon yellow and add the cadmium yellow. And that will give it a little different of a yellow color to add some contrast, and put some there along the breast. Now, let's work on the legs. And they are between the yellow and the orange. So let's take cadmium yellow with some of the cadmium red and make a lighter orange. And they kind of slant, and then the clouds come out, and it's on top of this wonderful sunflower, like so. Now let's stop and give it a quick dry. So take your liner. Now I notice here the color started to run, and I don't want the legs so long. So again, you can add some water to your brush to fix it. Like so. Now let's turn our attention to the sunflower here. Now, there is a water line from the watercolor, and you can fix it by adding another layer of darkness here. Take your liner brush and mix some ochre with burnt umber. And put little dots, like the birds. And so I'm not going to not fill the whole thing, because the bird has eaten half of the seeds in this sunflower. Put a little bit, some by the legs there. Now, there's a little green on the edge of this sunflower. So take your liner and load with sap green. And put some roughly little kind of feathers leaves, excuse me. The ending days, the last days of the sunflower. Now, you could leave the background white. And you can choose to do that, or I will show you what you can do with the background. But first we need to work on the plant here a little bit. Load your liner with sap green and add burnt umber to make a darker green, and put some veins on your leaf here. One here, a little bit in the stem. And on this shape, put a little darker color on the outline around the circle. And do the same thing up here on this one. Then stop and dry again. Then take your round with pointed tip brush and load with lemon yellow and add a touch in the center right here on this plant. Okay. Now you can call it finish, or you can add a background. So let's start by adding a background. Pick up your mop brush and load it with intense blue. And you can start by the plant. Now this is strong, but don't fret. We're going to change that by diluting it with water and dabbing with it. Dabbing with a paper towel. And spreading that paint. So if you don't like where some of the water is pulling with color, you can dab and create some clouds. Now it's a little dark over here, and I'm just going to do some dabbing. And it ran into this leaf, but now it looks like the leaf has a hole or a tear in it, and I'm going to leave it. Now it looks a little dark right here, and kind of not a smooth transition, so add a little bit more water. And when you get close to the image that you don't want to run, it's good to switch brushes. And I'm switching to my round with pointed tip brush to work on some of the areas here, to do some dabbing. So I want to be careful not to mess my shape of my plant. Now the color is a little light here, so I'm going to carefully add some of the blue here. And this area right here needs some more blue. This brush is a little big, so I'm going to switch to my liner brush, just so that it doesn't run into other areas that I don't want it to. And then a little below the tail, we're missing some of that blue color. Like so. Now I like the subtle background like that. If you wanted to, you could add some shapes of plants with just a little green. But I like the simplicity of this, so I'm going to stop right now. I enjoyed painting with you today, and I hope you enjoyed it too. I'd love to see photos of your creations. You can email them to me at the address in the description. To suggest something you'd like to paint, please let me know in the comments. If you'd like to give watercolor a try, please subscribe to my channel and take a lesson or two. Take care, be safe, and see you soon.